Hello Physical Fiends, it is Jordan here with some just announced physical releases. These are games that have recently been announced, they are not releasing this week, and as always, I don't do limited game pre-order stuff since they are always covered in Monday's video, and there's no point repeating myself. Splatoon Raiders is obviously quite the big one. We already knew the game was coming at some point, but we didn't know when, nor were we 100% sure it would be on a proper Switch 2 cartridge. Well, now we can answer those questions. Splatoon Raiders is releasing on the 23rd of July for Nintendo Switch 2 on a proper cartridge. I think we always knew it would, but paranoia is strong these days, and this is a single-player focused action game, a spin-off of the normal Splatoon efforts, and this is great news to be honest. The single-player content for Splatoon is very underrated. Sure, the multiplayer chaos really outshines it, but at least they had pride in some single-player goodness, and hopefully this one will be a really solid time. Definitely going to be a big one for the summer, and if you want to pre-order it or any of the games in this video, please consider using the links I put down below in the description and pinned comment. Any purchase made via those links massively helps support me and this channel in the best way possible. I do truly thank you ever so much. And VGP are a really nice company with free worldwide shipping on orders over 75 Canadian bucks, like 55 American dollars. Scott Pilgrim EX is releasing at retail August the 14th. Wait, I hear you say, didn't Limited Run do this? And haven't they literally just sent the standard editions out to buyers? Yes, and so immediately, I Am 8-Bit announced a retail release for Nintendo Switch and PlayStation 5, which is kinda cool. It is another beat-em-up in the cult hit series, which is just as popular now, if not more, than it was back in the day. I don't think this one was as well received as the previous games, but still a solid time. Busbound Deluxe Edition will be rocking your world on May 28th when it releases physically on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. Despite these simulator-type games being very popular in Europe, this one has you taking on American buses. They're bigger, well, I don't really know. For some reason, I find it difficult to imagine Americans and buses. I thought you all literally had to drive everywhere, otherwise you would succumb to the elements. Flightpath is getting a physical release on PlayStation 5 thanks to VGNY Soft on July the 24th. As you'd expect from them, it is an indie shmup and apparently a beginner-friendly one too, pretty much a breeze. It has a focus on story, which is unusual for the genre, but there are choices that you make that can change things, and different characters each have their own story. It's coming in a standard release as well as an extra edition, which will have a 5-inch vinyl, poster, patch, sticker sheet, pin, and a keychain. Dementium The Ward is getting a physical release on Nintendo Switch and PlayStation 5 in Europe. Sadly, there does not seem to be a North American physical version. You'd think with this being published by Clear River Games in Europe that Limited Run might have something to do in North America, but apparently not. This is a second remaster of this DS horror game that I actually played. I played the 3DS version. I think it was one of my very early video reviews on YouTube over 10 years ago on my ancient channel. Good game from what I remember, and playing on a proper console with tweaks and visual updates, I'm sure it'll make it the best way to play it. Although obviously it will still have some archaic elements in there. It's releasing July the 23rd. Xeno Crisis, a quick mention to this, a game I already made a video about if you want to check out the full details and full perplexion from myself. But to cut a not so long story even shorter, it's now been announced there's going to be an even newer physical release of this in North America on PlayStation 5 and Nintendo Switch. And also, there's a very, very limited VGP exclusive cover version only on their website. That's definitely going to be the rarest of the bunch of this game's releases, I can assure you that. It's coming August the 6th. Alright, let's take a look at some recent import announcements. These are games that so far only have an Asian or Japanese physical release with English, unless otherwise stated, but since there's always time, keep in mind a Western physical could be announced at any point really, and you can order most of these from either VGP or PlayAsia, and if you order from PlayAsia, you can get 5% off with my code Jordan2026. But you must click my link first, and it is almost the end of April, at which point, when May comes, I don't really know what's going to happen to the code, okay? I'll be sure to let you know when May actually comes, so make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss that if you want a nice tasty discount at PlayAsia. Brigandine Abyss. Now this is a big one. If you remember the last episode I did, I talked about how this game in the West and Japan was a physical on PlayStation 5 and a game key on Nintendo Switch 2. Boo. Well, Asia is coming to the rescue once again. In Hong Kong, this is getting a physical release on Nintendo Switch 2 on a proper cartridge. The publisher over there, Just Dan, wanted to highlight this for collectors. They know what's up. They have a soul. This will be the only way to get this game properly, physically on Nintendo Switch 2, and it will be in English. A strategy game from a cult series with lots going on. It's obviously going to be a very important import for the system, and one that should definitely be supported and rewarded. It's coming in a standard edition, as well as a limited edition, which ironically contains a digital soundtrack and a digital art book. But we'll let that slide, okay? We'll take the proper cartridge over digital soundtracks, okay? HYKE, Northern Lights. I brought this up in the upcoming imports video I did like a few days ago, since it popped up just before I was about to publish that. This is a pretty cool looking top-down action game, a simple action RPG that is liked for its presentation. Like, the visuals and music are supposed to be absolutely excellent, although it is considered a bit simple in the gameplay department, but it's casual enough for anyone to kind of enjoy. This Asian import will play in English on June the 25th. Kugayama, Shiori's Death Diary, is releasing in Japan on the 30th of July, and it will have English. This is a visual novel that came out digitally literally the day I am writing this, the 29th of April. So there's almost no coverage or reviews about it. It seems to be about a girl who keeps on dying even during death, and there's a mystery about it. I don't know. AfterLove EP is a game from the creator of Coffee Talk. It's an adventure narrative game that some have labeled a visual novel, but VN fans would not allow it. It's more like a space for the unbound, like side-scrolling, story-focused adventuring with some gameplay gimmicks in there, like some rhythm game sections. The story is supposed to be excellent, very emotional, very well written. It's releasing in Asia and Japan with English. Staffa Retro, a supernatural mystery quest, is an upcoming mystery adventure detective game, a sequel to The Staffa Case, which is also an import-exclusive release on Nintendo Switch. That was considered a very good game, especially if you were craving some Ace Attorney-type gameplay. This isn't out even digitally yet, so we don't know how this one will hold up, but it's coming to Japanese stores on July the 23rd, and it will play in English, and it's coming in a mini collector's edition with some bonus day one goodies. CrymeLight, or is it CrymeLight? I'm guessing CrymeLight, is getting a physical release on PlayStation 5 in Japan, and it will have English. Sadly, the Switch 2 is a game key. Boo, let's cry. There is no word of a Western physical release so far, and this is from Furyu, who their last release did not get a Western physical release. Valette was an import exclusive. And this one is part of the same Cry series as Crystar and that other one I can't remember off the top of my head. This one is an action RPG that's got some roguelike elements, and it's releasing November the 5th, so a bit of a wait. eBaseball Pro Spirit 2026 is getting a physical release in Japan July the 16th on PlayStation 5, and I believe for the first time in the series' history, it is going to have English, which is good news for baseball fans and for fans of the Japanese variety. Don't know much about it, but I'm sure it's going to excite someone out there. And there we have a bunch of new announcements. What was your favorite in this episode? Let me know in the comments below alongside your thumbs up. If you want to pre-order any of these, then please do so with the links I've put down below in the description and pinned comment. I greatly appreciate that more than you could ever know, and I hope you all have a fantastic day. Take care.